But yeah, he left a couple days ago to go out with a friend, and he just hadn't come home yet. You know, I guess they've been texting him so they know he's alive, but like, oh, there's a zombie in here. I mean, at least we had our cudgel in our hands. They text him to see if he's coming home, you know, and he'll say something like maybe, and then they just don't, you know, he never comes home. And I guess he's still living here. I think his clothes and stuff. And then he goes out too, like he's on a lot of medications that he shouldn't be drinking on. First aid kit's pretty good here. You know, he's not supposed to drink. He's on some pretty heavy, like, psych medications, and he has some mental health stuff. And again, he had, you know, a head injury and some stuff when he was young that, you know, changed his physical, just changed things for him. And he shouldn't be drinking, you know, and he has seizures and stuff, and it's like, it just makes it worse. And I don't think he even took his pills with him when he left, so it's been days without him taking his pills. And then he gets mad. He's like, you know, I'm pretty sure he's bipolar is what he said. It changed multiple times. I know he's often very depressed, but I think he gets these really severe highs and lows. And I'm pretty sure he's said previously that he's bipolar. I don't know his exact diagnoses. It's like, ooh, wrench. It's like when you're bipolar, pretty important that you take your meds, and he'll complain like, oh, I just feel like crap and I'm really not doing well. It's like, well, are you taking your pills? And he'll say no, you know, and it's like, well, isn't that exactly what they're for, is to help you with that? And he just doesn't, I don't know how to talk to him, you know, even as someone who's dealt with addiction and you know, I've made criminal errors in my life, you know, even as someone who can relate to that, I don't know how to talk to him. And it makes me feel bad, because like, we were never super close. I mean, I guess when we were little kids, we probably were. But like, I feel bad. He's my brother. You know, we're about 2 years apart in age, and I just don't know how to reach him at all. You know, and my psych, I just saw my psych yesterday, and she recommended, like, oh, would it be beneficial for you guys to maybe go to like a support group? I think someone just came home. To go to a support group for people, you know, dealing with loved ones who have addictions. And I told her, like, I already know a lot of that stuff, and we've done that before. I don't know if it would be good for me or not. Like, I think it would be really good for my family, but they are, I don't think, willing to do something like that. They're not really those type of people. Like, I think my one female relative took a class when I came home from prison, because there was a class about how to ease that transition for someone. I think we already alluded these, but we'll take them anyway. And I think, you know, that was just a time when that was like the first time anyone had dealt with that in our family, and they didn't really know how to act or what to expect. And I had changed a lot and had some pretty, at the time, my PTSD was like out of control. And they definitely could see that, and they were having a problem understanding and living with that. So I know that they did that for me, but that was like, I don't know, 7 years ago. And they work all the time, and I don't think they're going to devote time to going to something like that. I don't know. I just don't know how to talk to him. I don't know how to reach him. So he'll meander home at some point, pass out on his bed, and, you know, we'll sleep okay for a night or two knowing that he's safe. Like, that's the worry, you know, is that he'll just be dead somewhere, you know. When he was a teenager, he would disappear a lot in the same way, and, you know, we would make phone calls and try to track him down, and then we would find out 2 days later that, you know, they called the ambulance because he had called in a suicide threat and stuff. And, you know, that really frayed the nerves of my family members, because my one family member is like out of control worrier, and so she worries about him all the time. And then to have that confirmed by basically him, like at the time, I believe he was taken to an inpatient facility, and I was really hard on her. And I know when he got it, you know, when he went to jail, was really hard on her. It's just a whole thing. I don't necessarily want to continue talking about it. It bums me out. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to talk to him. I am a little bit harsh when it comes to that kind of stuff because I believe people have to make that decision on their own. You know, you can send a guy to jail for drugs. You can let a guy's life fall apart around him because of drugs. You can take his kids away because of drugs. You can do a lot of things to try and intervene in someone's life. But at the end of the day, the only thing that actually makes them change is a personal decision to change. And so for him, he's got to find his rock bottom. He's got to make that decision of like, I can't keep doing this. It's going to kill me. That's something he's going to have to do on his own. I don't know how we manufacture that. I don't think you can. So anyway, I don't really want to keep talking about this. So, yeah, mentioned car repairs. Just, God, it feels bad to go from such a serious topic to something that's a little bit less consequential. Yeah, car repairs are a bummer. It was about $800. They did, I needed a hub, a wheel bearing, I think brake rotors, and then I guess the time. It's like every time I go to the mechanic, like I could go get a prostitute and I would get screwed less than if I go to the mechanic. I don't know if that joke lands or not, but like, man, every time I go to the mechanic, I feel like I get screwed, but that's because I have no understanding of what they do or how to be a mechanic. So like, I'm sure what they did was like probably a lot of work and took a lot of time and parts. But mostly in the back of my brain, I'm like, $800 for, you know, less than a day worth of work is just mind blowing to me. It's not even the work I need done. If you remember back in Halloween, I hit a tree. We had some really bad storms, and there was a tree down in the road that I absolutely plowed into after coming around a curve, and tore up my front end, ruined my bumper, and we still have to put that on because the car gets inspected at the end of March. And I just spent my entire, basically all of my money on this car repair. So I'm a little worried about that, but I'm sure we'll make it work. But money is one of the biggest stressors in my life at the moment, because I have a pretty okay life as far as things go at the moment. You know, I'm not going to get evicted or anything. You know, I don't have a ton of things I have to pay for. And I have a house, you know, I don't have to worry about my bills too much. I'm living within my means. But the car is a constant upkeep and repair, and whenever I don't have money, it stresses me out. Like, you know, there are small moments throughout the day where I will be like having a good time. Like I'm recording YouTube or whatever, and I'm having a good time enjoying the game. And then just out of nowhere in the back of my brain, you know, a thought pops up and it's like, yeah, but you're broke right now. So there's that. You have to worry about that. Heard footsteps. Yes. Where do we heard footsteps? You heard footsteps from here. So likely they're in this apartment. Oh, there's a proper Zapper zombie. I was not expecting that. So Zapper zombies are the lowest tier form of the Shocker line of zombies. They're a recent addition to the game. I think they were added like probably literally about a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago. Actually, no, because we've been in content and feature freeze for a while. They're recent. They're not super new, but they're recent. There's really nothing about them that's good or bad. They don't have the long range shock ability. They don't have any real special attacks. They don't have CBMs in them, so they're not even good for that. And I think the only thing about them is that they have the zap back ability. So if we were to hit them with a metal weapon, we would be shocked by hitting them. But on the plus side, the cudgel is all wood, so we can literally just smack him to death. Getting some quick strikes. You quickly strike. All of our attacks are quick strikes. Why is that? I thought the quickly strike only appeared when you use the rapid strike ability. You care. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. So I don't know why our rapid strikes are triggering every time. Is it every time, or is it just my imagination running away with me? Precisely hit the zapper zombie. So that was because it was a critical. Well, whatever, it doesn't matter. Hello, Hobo. How are you? What's your character's story? He is a dude who spawned on the rooftop of an apartment building. I don't really do backstories for my characters usually. So when I started the channel, one of my main things that I wanted to do was roleplay. Before I played Cataclysm, really, I would watch Vormithrax and I would watch Rykon, because those are probably the two biggest Cataclysm YouTubers. And I hate Twitch, so I would watch on I would watch on YouTube. I mean, I love you, Twitch, but like I don't like watching content on Twitch. So I watched a lot of Rykon, and like his name is Rykon Roleplays, and he roleplays. But when I watched his channel, I was like, this isn't really so much role-playing. It seemed like he would have a character backstory, and he would move around, but he would talk like I talk. Like, oh, well, we're going to pick this up because this is a good item, and oh, we can use this for crafting this later. It's like, that's not really role-playing. Like, in my head, role-playing is like you're in character the whole time, and you're talking from the perspective of your character. Which I'm sure, like, I'm not bad-mouthing, like, you can roleplay however you want. But, like, that's what I wanted to do when I started my channel, was more like telling a story rather than narrating or whatever. And I did try that when I started initially. I recorded one roleplay, like, it was like 5 episodes of an attempt at roleplaying. And what I realized is that that's a lot harder than I thought it was. So since then, I basically just tell stories about my life. I don't often pay a lot of attention to character stuff. I guess we could do that. We found ourselves on the rooftop initially. What's my name, by the way? Darius Espinoza. Okay, so Darius, I don't know, thought he could find safety on the rooftop of a building, but when he got up there, it actually turned out to have a lot of monster density. This, of course, doesn't really fit with the actual spawning up there and the fact that we never even looked out on the rooftop. But through the peephole of the roof, because apparently doors on roofs have peepholes, we peeked outside and we saw, oh no, there's actually a crap ton of zombies out there. And we decided instead to head down into the apartment building, and we're really just clearing them out so that we can find a safe place to stay. That's not a story. I'm bad at life. I've been thinking lately about it. Well, I don't even want to talk about it yet because it's not for sure. But I had some ideas because I've been trying to write again, and I started writing a new novel, and I was thinking about podcasts a lot lately, and I was thinking about maybe recording some audiobook style stuff. But that's not a firm decision yet. That's just something that's been playing in the back of my mind. Role playing is hard, but recontextualizing actions to better fit your character is easier. Is it Cataclysm themed? The novel is not Cataclysm themed. It is a zombie apocalypse thing. And I was thinking it could be easily transitioned to be Cataclysm themed, because really at the end of the day, Cataclysm, I wouldn't steal the lore of Cataclysm, because I wouldn't feel right about that, even though, I talk to the dev team sometimes and stuff. I'm sure they would be pretty okay with that kind of thing. I wouldn't take the lore. It would just be like zombie apocalypse plus probably nuclear bomb. Like if I made it Cataclysm themed, it would just be maybe some alien stuff, mostly zombie apocalypse, maybe nukes and that kind of stuff happening in the background. Is Darius feeling somewhat guilty for stealing from apartments? Not really. If we stumble into, and this is why I mentioned the podcast, it's basically the same thing, is that the novel that I started writing, it begins with a guy climbing in and out of fire escapes to loot buildings and steal from apartments. And he breaks into an apartment and finds that there's a dude living there. And he's actually literally breaking into a living person's apartment and stealing from them. And then he realizes that and is like deeply ashamed of himself and whatnot. So I don't think Darius would care too much about going into an apartment building like this, because most people, he probably knows most people are either dead or evacuated. So I don't know that it would perturb him too much. If we broke down a door and we found an NPC, yeah, then maybe we probably would not steal from that apartment. But for the most part, we're finding dead ones and empty apartments, so not super worried about it, I don't think. Yeah, I've been kicking around podcast, audiobook style stuff for a while. I struggle with reading out loud, and I also struggle with when I write. I really want to look at the roof. We're not going to look at the roof. That would be just... there's no benefit to us looking on the roof. I love writing, but I just don't do it anymore. I spend most of my time recording. Like when I have free time, I'm probably recording or editing or whatever. It's really rare that I take some time to do something like write. And I've been trying to force myself to do it because it's like such a key part of my identity, and I haven't really done it. The last year, all my free time has been spent on YouTube, which has mostly been fine. I would say, during the most intense parts of the last year, I've I put up maybe like 4 to 5 videos a day at my peak there. I need a drink. I'm getting a little bit parched, so. Yeah, put out a lot of videos per day there for a while at my peak, and it really does dominate a lot of my free time. And lately I've been trying to force myself to take some time to stream, which I've been doing a real bad job at, actually getting around to doing that. And I backed off to like 2 videos a day on YouTube, and I'm not super thrilled about that. So, we're on the wrong floor. What is Darius's view on the whole situation? Does he have any regrets? Does he blame the government or foreign nationals? I mean, interesting. I never think about things like this. What is Darius's view on the whole situation? Well, it's pretty messed up, would be my guess. Pretty messed up. Not particularly happy, but then he was not very satisfied with the job that he had prior to the Cataclysm. He was one of those guys that rolled through life, but was never really happy with where he is in society. He was a minimum wage type guy. I don't know what his job was, let's say, but he wasn't real thrilled with his job. And so the end of the world, nobody looks forward to the end of the world, but also, it's not I guess it is literally, I was going to say it's not the end of the world. It literally is. But, I don't know, there's a small part of him that actually is, like, pleased with the idea that, he has a little bit more freedom. He's not a slave to a very small paycheck anymore, or to his obnoxious boss. Does he have any regrets? Oh, who doesn't? Who doesn't have any regrets? I think Darius is the kind of guy who looks back at his life and he thinks he's upset that he never settled down. He looks back on his life and he sees all the girlfriends that have come and gone. I think Darius is straight. I don't know. All the females that have come and gone from his life, and there's just that little pang of regret. He can't pick out a single one that he can say like, oh, that's the one that got away. That's my white whale. And yet, his mind is filled with the loss of people over time. I don't know. This is very peculiar to do on the spot. Usually, when I'm coming up with things, I'm not trying also to play a game at the exact same time and vocalize my thoughts as they come to me. This is a little bit peculiar. Does he blame the government or foreign nationals? Probably the government. I don't really see any reason why he would blame foreign nationals. It's almost certainly going to be our government's fault. Like, no matter where you are, I think it's easy to blame people, but I think Darius is the sort who would be more likely to point the finger at his own government rather than to say, oh, China did this and oh, Russia. I don't think that's really him. I think it was probably a world at large that did this. You can point the finger at basically everyone contributing. But yeah, probably would blame the U.S., I think, since we are in the U.S. He's most likely Hispanic. I doubt he would be xenophobic. Okay, just because he has the name Darius Espinosa doesn't mean he's Hispanic. But he, yeah, most certainly is Hispanic. But xenophobia is something that infects all walks of life and all races, I think. Like, I get that, well, we're not going to have a huge political discussion. And xenophobia definitely is more common among, seems like all the old white dudes I know are the ones who are the most xenophobic. Personally, never really met. That's not true. When I lived, so I grew up in a black community primarily. I'm white, but a lot of my family's black, and we grew up in a black neighborhood. They were a little xenophobic as well, but I don't know. And everyone can be cliquey and somewhat not wanting others involved. So I don't know. I don't think Darius is, though. He seems like, I think he's a good dude. I don't think he would be disliking people just out of a fear of them being foreign to him and different from him. I'm racist towards ASCII. Yeah, I'm not a fan. It's interesting, when I was a kid, I played ASCII games all the time. Like, I grew up playing NetHack ASCII and Angband and all that stuff prior to it having like proper tile sets, and Omega, some stuff that never got a tile set. But now when I try to play those games, it drives me absolutely crazy. And I was just gonna say, Dwarf Fortress is like it's the reason I can't get into Dwarf Fortress is because it's ASCII. I haven't seen a good tile set for it. That said, there's supposed to be a Steam release of Dwarf Fortress on the horizon. And that is going to have a graphic tile set. So, does it have a tile set? I don't know. The last time I looked, it did not. Apparently, it does. That's cool. That's cool. I really can't play things without a tile set. It just bothers my eyes. Even Cataclysm, if we go to like retro days, that tile set really bugs my eyes, and I feel bad about it because Sim is always talking about how great Retro Days is, but I look at this and it's like, I can't look at this. This bothers my eyes. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, my eyes are getting older, or if it's just because I don't know. It just bothers me. Undead people. Not that I'm a huge fan of the Dead People tile set. I'm probably going to switch to Altica when that gets moving a bit. Maybe it's because you're weird. It's just weird. You're just weird. That seems plausible, I guess. I don't know you. Everyone is weird. I don't know. I like it. I think it looks nice. It's one of the most complete tile sets. I know a lot of people like it. But every time I try to play with it, it just ends up bothering my eyes. Same way I feel about Caves of Cud. Is that Caves of Cud has that same like retro console terminal style graphics. It really bothers my eyes. I couldn't look past it. And I feel bad about it because like I know Caves of Cud is good. There's someone who hangs out in the Cataclysm Discord that I think is on their dev team, and like I would like to support them, but when I look at it, it actually really bothers me. So I don't know. I've heard Caves of Cud is good. I think they use currency, the water as currency in that game, which is interesting. It's better than cash cards or bottle caps. Definitely better than bottle caps. Oh man, I've been looting these apartments for an eternity. We should really assess. Like, we haven't put on any of the clothes we found or done anything with the stuff we've looted. What time is it? God, it's only 10 a.m. in the game. Time passes so much slower now. Let's check the pantry, then we'll head back up, and we'll see about changing our clothing out and doing something other than mindlessly looting. Okay, let's head upstairs. Okay, drop everything. You can set up our tiles or our sorting and whatnot. Can we drag stools? We can. Let's get them out of there. A little bit of a hiccup there. Can you grab what is this? Hard cheese. Yeah, let's get the dairy stuff out of here because I might put things in these cupboards. Man, I hope you can't hear my stomach gurgling because that would be real embarrassing. Go ahead and drop these out here. I don't like having them just in my apartment. More zombies falling off the roof. Oh, you can't grab the cupboard. You gotta go then. Sorry. Cudgel is holding up well. We haven't damaged the cudgel in any way, which is a little bit surprising. Let's just haul this wood onto this pile for now. Fridge. You know, we could... No, they'd still be able to get in. Let's just leave the fridge there. Let's get the sink out of here. Haul this onto our pile as well. Smash up for some wood, I guess, since we're already stamina's going. What was on this tile? Toilet plunger. I mean, we can keep it in our tool pile. It doesn't really matter. Although I'm pretty sure it's just there for funsies. Gotta admit, bottle caps as currency is a nice concept. We've had discussions about this. I don't know if we did that on a video or not. I know we've talked about it on Discord and on the forums, the Cataclysm Discourse forum. I think it's an interesting, like, it's neat, but the more you think about it, the less sense it actually makes just because of the availability. And gotta imagine it's pretty easy to counterfeit a bottle cap, and I'm pretty sure in the game the bottle caps are all basically the same. Like, it doesn't matter what kind of bottle cap, Nuka-Cola, sarsaparilla, it doesn't matter. It's just a bottle cap. So I gotta imagine there's like just billions of them out there, and they would be easy to fake. I don't know. It's definitely interesting. I remember liking it when I was a kid, when I played like Fallout 1 and 2, way back in the day. I thought that was an interesting idea. I don't know how I feel about it now. It's fine. I mean, it's fine. Let's jam our food in the corner, I guess. Perishable food can go there as well. Set that up. We'll put the drinks on the other side so I don't have to have the overlapping tiles. We just did an episode on the sorting system in my tutorial playthrough. I don't know if that went up on the channel. I think it goes up tomorrow or the day after. I like the concept as nice as a currency. I don't know what that means. So, books. We want books pretty close to the fire. We need tools. Give me a tools pile. Just put that here. Set up a medication pile in the corner. Fine. We don't have guns or anything. I don't think we need to do that right now. Mice. Mice as currency. Oh, that sounds horrible. Frankly, rodents scare me a little bit. Not a big fan of rodents. I don't think we need any more. Save this. Sort it out. Sort my loot. Don't use animals as currency. You can use mouse meat as currency. I think would be much more satisfying. Not that I would eat a mouse, I guess. What's that, I remember watching survival shows where they would eat mice, but you weren't supposed to eat the mice because the mice had a disease, and I can't think of what it was now because my brain is just saying, oh, coronavirus, but that's like, it was way before that ever existed. Mice as in electronics. No, rodents. Yes, I was thinking animals as well. I think I want to put on the leather jacket. What is, none of them fit? I thought we found one that fit. 15 encumbrance for 6 protection and 1 storage is not that great. Leather will protect us from most basic enemies' attacks. Like, let's say we pick up, well, just a regular zombie. I think they have like 2d3 damage. So it would insulate us pretty much entirely from those attacks. It might be more than that. I don't really pay attention to the numbers that closely. The alternative would be the hoodie. The hoodie is only 6 encumbrance. It has better storage, and the protection is half as much. Duster. It's a cotton duster, so it's not really what I would want. Yeah, I don't want a cotton duster. What's the blazer got going on? 10 encumbrance, 3 and 3. Trench coat, also cotton, which is not great. What's the sweatshirt got going on? 5 encumbrance, 3 and 3. But no storage. I'd rather have the little extra storage, I think, from the hoodie. Yeah, give me the hoodie. It's weird that we found like all torso stuff. The only thing we really have for any other body part is cargo pants. So let's lose... Oh, we're not wearing anything. Go ahead and throw on the hoodie. Let's step away. Throw on the hoodie. Why did I pick up 3 hoodies? I didn't want 3 hoodies. Drop the hoodies. Okay, so we have 3 hoodies. Go ahead and take off our jeans. Nobody look. And we'll go ahead and put on some cargo pants for a little extra storage. 11 encumbrance on our torso because our backpack is empty. How are we doing everywhere else? T-shirt, hoodie, leather backpack, knit hat on our head. Are we cold, by the way? Our temperatures are okay. Our hands are a little cold. Hands are a little cold. Oh no. Why is my head colored green? Oh, for a second I thought I had been infected. When I wasn't looking. Oh, it's probably it highlights the body part you're looking at. That makes way more sense. No eye protection. We're wearing a scarf I'm not real thrilled about. That's probably why our stamina was dropping so much. That makes sense. Should have thought about that. Nothing on our hands. Legs and feet. Sneakers are fine. Let me check my setting really quick. Hopefully that brought up the old overlay. Where is... Yeah. So we're at about an hour. My original thought was to play about an hour of Cataclysm and then an hour of Binding of Isaac. I don't really feel like playing. I really, honestly, just getting real fed up with Binding of Isaac in a lot of ways. But I am going to put a cut in here. I'm going to take a break for just a couple minutes. Going to smoke a cigarette, probably use the bathroom. And I will be back momentarily. I think we're going to just keep playing Cataclysm. Honestly, I just have not been loving Binding of Isaac lately. So let's put up the Be Right Back overlay. Fancy, high quality stuff that you will only see on this particular stream. I have 7 viewers. How about that? Hello, everyone. Hopefully you're all having a good day. So I will be back momentarily. Going to step out, use the restroom, smoke a cigarette. Be back shortly.